Hey, what is up guys? Jack and Matt here with the Toasty Bros, and today we're going to be doing a $1,300 Threadripper build.
Yeah, you heard that right. We are building a Threadripper PC with 16 cores and 32 threads for $1,300. But before we talk about that, let's hear a word from today's sponsor.
Threadripper.
Today's video is brought to you by GVGMall, an online marketplace to gain access to some really awesome discounted game keys, and more specifically, Windows 10 licenses.
And if you're interested, use the link down below and buy the Windows 10 Pro activation using our code TB20 to get 20% off.
All you have to do to activate Windows 10 license is buy the key by using code TB20 and then throw the Windows 10 key into your Windows 10 activation on the system you wish to install it in, and boom, you have activated Windows 10 and you no longer have to look at that horrible watermark in the bottom right corner.
So thanks again to GVGMall for sponsoring this video.
Let's get right into the video, shall we? All right guys, so this is a very interesting build because we are going to be building with a first gen Threadripper processor, more specifically the 1950X, which is housed in this box right here. It has 16 cores, 32 threads, and we're just going to see if first gen Threadripper is a worthwhile investment compared to stuff like third gen Ryzen that's out there, with Ryzen 9 having higher core count CPUs. And we're very excited to see if it's good for content creation, because we already know it's not going to be the best for gaming, but content creation could be a good investment.
So as far as pricing goes, we actually did price the 1950X used, this X399 motherboard, and then this Noctua cooler used. We did just use the average eBay prices as we did get this stuff used ourselves.
So how about we go ahead and talk about each individual part, how it makes up this PC build, and then just dive into building this rippin' thread PC. We're gonna rip them threads.
So we're gonna do a classic unboxing of this MSI X399 motherboard because we got some other goodies in here. So we have the IO shield cover.
Wow.
We also have this, Jesus Christ, this is heavy. All right, let's go ahead and get this out of here. So we do have an MSI X399 motherboard. We did not price this one specifically. If you click on our link, our affiliate link down below, it will just bring you to the eBay listings for X399s. Any one will work. Then we have this gigantic freaking Threadripper processor. This is why you need one of these special boards, because this is not normal size. Look at it compared to my hand. And then we actually have a freaking 32 gig kit and it's actually 4 sticks, so they did not hold back when they bought this. I did price new RGB RAM from Corsair, so that did add a lot of money. You could get the stuff used. You could go with possibly 2 sticks in some different configurations, so you could save a lot of money there. This is well over $200 for this 32 gigs. But since this is going to be replacing one of our editing and rendering PCs, this is going to be simply amazing for that. And for the cooler, we have the Noctua NHU14STR4SP3 robot voice. So this is actually a cooler that's specific for Threadripper. That's why it's called the TR4, because it's for Threadripper 4. So because of that, we kind of just wanted to use this because it came with this. We bought this as a bundle, but like I said, we just used prices individually on eBay to get the pricing, but we got a really good deal for this whole bundle, so we just decided, let's just use this. It doesn't make sense to waste this cooler because we're never gonna use anything else, so this is what it goes on.
If you want something new, we'll leave some links down below if you plan on doing this. Now for storage, we're actually reusing this little guy right here. See if Jackson can get a nice up-close shot of it. This is an OCZ M.2 drive. It is NVMe. It has been in my editing PC here at the office for the past year or so. We just want to reuse it because, well, it's lying around. But as always, for stuff that we are reusing, we will leave an alternate suggestion link in the description down below. For all you people out there who think we're just reusing our hardware and they're not giving you good options to go with, links down below. They're there. Card. We decided to go with this RX 5600 XT. Now we did use this exact one, the thick boy, in a build on the channel recently. Hit the eye in the top right corner if you want to check that out. But this is going to be a decent card for light gaming if you wanted to. You could play games on high settings, 1080p. It is going to be on a 1440p monitor, so probably medium high settings. But this card is great for a system that's not primarily designed for gaming. It's going to be great for content creation, media encoding, and all that sort of stuff. So great value right here. Way better pricing compared to some of the NVIDIA offerings out there on the market, so highly suggest you consider it. And as for the power supply, we went with a 700 watt power supply, which is more than enough for this build. You probably could get away with 600 watts if you wanted to, but this board actually pulls a decent amount of power, and Threadripper being a really crazy CPU, and especially an older generation one, does pull more power, so 700 watts is more than enough, and Thermaltake makes some pretty decent power supplies, and we trust it for this editing PC. Now we decided to use this case. This is the FSP CMT 520 Plus. We actually have a ton of FSP cases here at the office because we did an ad spot for them and we were trying to figure out a use case for them. So we decided to use this one. This one comes loaded up with a ton of RGB fans and not at a bad price at around 120 bucks. All the RGB that you can get, and especially it's all hooked up and everything, is a time saver, especially when you're building a PC. I would suggest considering this case if you're looking to build your next gaming PC, and it's big. So it will be able to house this motherboard, which is actually eATX. Threadripper motherboards are extended ATX, so you do need a case that supports it, and this one most definitely does. So how about we go ahead and build this PC and get to actually ripping those threads.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, now that this Threadripper PC is all put together, let's go ahead and talk about some benchmarks real quick. Now, I wanted to get a couple things out of the way. One, the benchmarks that I'm running are mainly content creation focused. I did test Fortnite, which we'll talk about here in a second, but I just kind of want to let you all know that the main focus of this PC is doing video editing, live streaming, and things like that. It can definitely game, and in Fortnite on pro settings at 1440p, we definitely had no problems playing games at well over 100 plus FPS, and maybe if I did want to live stream some games on this PC, it wouldn't be a problem. We could stream at x264 using the Threadripper and its 16 cores and 32 threads, and probably not break a sweat. But that is not the main focus of this video. The main focus of this video is deciding whether or not you should go with something like a used 1950X or opt for something like a 3rd gen Ryzen processor for the same price new. Now, to save you a lot of time, if you're somebody who does primarily gaming, don't even bother looking at the 1950X. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. The only people that really make sense for the 1950X are people who can take advantage of all those cores, and even my workload doesn't take advantage of all the cores that I really want them to. For example, Adobe Premiere Pro, while be it benefits from having more cores, really benefits from higher IPC, and maybe considering spending a little bit more money on a combo of like a 3900X with like an X570 board, PCI Gen 4, and all that sort of jazz, you would probably get better render performance. But in terms of timeline scrubbing, the 1950X is no slouch. I would pretty much say it's on par with my workstation at home with the Ryzen 7 3700X. Now yes, that does have half the cores, but the IPC is definitely not falling too far behind in this workload, so I can comfortably say that this would be more than enough to keep editing the videos the way that we do. And when we expand into our new camera, the GH5, where we're going to probably be doing some 4K 60 video editing, this processor will have no problems handling that and be able to export at relatively decent times, which I did run an export test of a video, as you can see right here, which is a upcoming Minecraft server video. If you haven't seen that, hit the eye in the top right corner when that video comes out. But anyways, that Minecraft server video was about 18 or so minutes, and it took roughly about 20 minutes or so to render the entire file, so it was actually pretty impressive rendering at 4K at about 45 to 90 megabits per second, more than enough speed for me to be able to get a video out and up on YouTube. And lastly, I decided to run Cinebench, which we ended up getting a score of 6,419, which is a really respectable score in Cinebench R20. This is on par with most multi-core processors out there, and I really do believe if you can find a good deal on the 1950X, let's say you can pick it up for around $200, and you can get this whole combo with 32 gigs of RAM for about $400 to $500, which is doable if you do a lot of deal hunting on, let's say, Hardware Swap, eBay, and just look around, because the availability of these X399 boards are going to start to rise as these newer Threadripper processors come out and require new motherboards. So as you see those new motherboards pop on the market, you could probably get pretty decent discounts on them, and if you really think you could benefit from the extra core count, the 1950X might not be a bad buy, and I definitely think this is going to be a great workstation PC for me for the foreseeable future, and I don't have any desire to upgrade unless we decide to move to 8K or something in our video workflow. But overall, I'm very impressed with this system. For most people, this is probably not the route you should go. You should probably lean like 3900X with how cheap that thing is at around $400. But if you're somebody who knows that they can take advantage of 16 cores and 32 threads, or just wants to flex on some people with 16 cores and 32 threads, this combo is definitely something you should consider. Now, before Jackson comes back in here to help me wrap this video up, let's hear a word from today's sponsor, Gigabyte. Gigabyte's Z390 Aorus Ultra is a beautiful motherboard designed to help you build a powerful PC based around an 8th or 9th gen Intel CPU. It features an advanced thermal design with direct touch heat pipes and their 12+1 phase digital VRM solution to help you keep your overclocks rock solid. If you want to get the most out of your next Intel gaming PC, please check the link in the description down below to learn more and pick one up today. Thanks again to Gigabyte for sponsoring this portion of today's video.
Okay guys, so as you guys could tell by the benchmarking, this is not the best PC for the price. I mean, it is really good because this is the most cores you could definitely get for the price, but gaming performance and whatnot, for $1,300 you could definitely do better.
So as I mentioned when we were doing the benchmarking, we actually got a really good deal on these, like around $250, $300 for pretty much everything. And at that price, it's a no-brainer. You can actually get a lot of value out of it, but it's kind of rare for you to get it at that price. But this is just kind of a video to talk about the availability of Threadripper stuff, which is probably going to start coming out more with the new launch of Threadripper out right now, and older motherboards not supporting those new chips. So you can get a good deal on an older motherboard and older Threadripper processor to do a lot of things like 3D rendering, video editing, and a lot of workstation stuff. But yeah, it can game, not so great, but it is viable if you do want to do both, which I know a lot of you out there like to do.
So don't forget to use our links in the description down below. They are affiliate links, so they do support us if you guys use them. Also, don't forget to follow us over on twitch.tv/toastybros. That's really important. That also helps us out. And you guys can watch us talk about tech stuff, you guys can watch us game, and that's pretty much it. But it's a really cool thing to do. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
And we will see you guys in the next one.
Peace out.
Rip them threads, boys. Rip them hard.